Okay, with this, you've got to be really, really careful with working out what part is steep and what part isn't. When we just look at a bit of information below, it says, I think we could cycle 8 kilometers per hour up steep mountains, 16 kilometers in an hour when it's fairly flat, so that means there could be a bit of uphill or downhill, and then 32 kilometers when it's steep mountains. So all I'm going to do first is break it up on here into flat or steep. Well, that there is fairly flat. This is definitely steep. This bit is definitely steep, we're going downhill. Now this is the part here where it's a bit dubious. For me, I assume that as steep and then that bit as steep as well. However, on the mark scheme, they are assuming all of this from here to here is fairly flat. So if you've assumed this is steep and this is steep, then I'll obviously go with it. But the mark scheme assumes that this is flat because it's only up for a short period of time and then back down. This bit is definitely going to be steep uphill, and then this bit is definitely going to be steep downhill, and then definitely steep uphill to finish. So the only part which is up for discussion really is this part here. However, because it's such a short period up and down, the mark scheme assumes it is all flat. Okay, now just focusing on my diagram, I'm going to break it up to flat, steep going up, steep going down. So let's start with the flat and just find out how big it is. Well, 0 to 17 is flat, and then plus we go from 46 here to 87. So I'm going to find out the gap between 87 and 46 by taking them away, which is 41. So I'll add 41 to that. And then is there any other flat? No, there's not. So I'll change that to an equal sign. And we'll add the 17, and we know there's a total of 58 kilometers for flat. Well, I'm now going to do the steep going up. So that's here. So it's the gap between 17 and 28. Take them away. 28 take away 17 is 11. And the next steep part going up is here, 87 and 112. Take them away to find out how far they've gone uphill. 112 take away 87 is 25. So in total, going uphill, 11 plus the 25 is 36 kilometers. And then the last bit, the down, well, the difference between 28 and 46, so I'll take them away. 46 take away 28 is 18. And then the other steep part coming down is here, which is the gap between 112 and 128, which is 16. Add them two together is going to give you the answer of 34 kilometers. Now, if I add these up, let's check the equal 143, otherwise I may have made an error. I think I have, but let's double check. So 34 plus 36 plus 58 is only 128, so let's go back and find my error. And I believe it is this bit in the uphill part. We have 1, 2, and the final part going uphill, which I forgot to add on. So to my 36, I need to add on 143, take away 128, which is 15. So we have to add on 15 to that, which would take me up to 51 kilometers. Now check these add, so always check your answer. As you can see, we all make mistakes. 58 plus the 34, and now lovely, yeah, they do add to 143, which is what we wanted. So 58, 51, 34 is what I'm going to write on my next page. Okay, now we've worked out this. We know if our answer is given in hours, which is obviously time, and the question is saying at those speeds, so we're going to use the speeds now from the previous page. Well, for the flat, it said the speed was 16 kilometers per hour, ph. For the up, it was, let's have a look, 16 kilometers, 8 kilometers per hour. And then the last one was 32 kilometers per hour. So a few different ways you can do this, but I think most of us would have heard of the speed, distance, time triangle. So I'm going to draw that. Now D always goes on top because D is first in the alphabet out of the three of them. That's what I always remember. What are we trying to find? Well, we're trying to find the time because it's given in hours. So we're going to scribble out time. And that leaves us with D over S. Distance divided by the speed. So for each one of these now, flat, up and down, I'm going to divide. So I'm going to do for the flat first, distance divided by speed, which is the 58 divided by 16. For the up, I'm going to do 51 divided by 8. And for the down, we're going to do 34 kilometers divided by 32. And then once we have these three answers, we can add them up to find out how long it took. Okay, so I've divided them. So 3.6 is just over 3.5 hours, 6.3 is just below 6.5 hours, and 1.0625. They're all not very nice numbers, but we will be allowed or let off here with our rounding. So now let's add these up to find out how long it took us. So I'm going to add all my answers together, and it is going to give me the answer of 11.0625. Well, I'm going to round it to my nearest hours because it doesn't say at the bottom hours and minutes. So to the nearest hour, this would actually be, all right, little note there, make sure you round. It would actually be 11 hours. Now the mark scheme states you can have anything between 11 and 12 hours. So you may have had a slightly different method, and then your rounding may have changed. However, eventually you can have anything between 11 to 12 hours inclusive. So that means including 11 and 12.